up there 2 years ago, there was no doubt they beat our butt. So
this season, the defense was everybody's question in the media about what was going to happen on the front line. You spoke on the back seven and how confident you were in them. So far, after 2 games, what's the identity you see coming from your defense?
We've played pretty disciplined, and I think we've controlled the line of scrimmage, which is something that we needed to see. We were hopeful, and again, you never really know when you're just going against yourself every day. We got a pretty good offensive line, and so to be able to see our guys go and win the line of scrimmage in the first 2 games is very encouraging. And we got a long way to go. We're not doing everything right. We're making mistakes. We're leaving gaps open. We're too wide, and we should be squeezing. We're squeezing. We should be. Well, we got all kind of things to fix that we haven't quite necessarily gotten exposed for yet. But the physicality, the effort, the tenacity that I've seen defensively is the same as it's always been. You know, those guys are playing hard. They're playing with pride. But our positioning has been really good through the first 2 games. Very few big plays, very few, plays like you saw last year where we had guys just running wide open in those first, the second game especially, against A&M last year. Guys have made some chunk plays, but positioned well. Sometimes our eyes are on the wrong things, or maybe we take a bad angle or we'll miss a tackle, but we've been positioned well, and the back seven has been outstanding. Outstanding. I mean, I felt that coming in. That's why I said that. I still feel that way. I think this is as good a back seven as we've had. Love the guys we got at backer. I like the speed, and then I love our depth in the secondary. I mean, we got some guys that can play. A lot of versatility on the back end, and I think you're just going to see that grow because we still got a lot of guys that are still growing into their opportunities, and they're going to get more and more confident as the season goes, and you'll see more of those guys, on the field.
Coach Travis had his best game catching the football on Saturday. He's worked really hard on that. Does it just take this offense to another level when that's a regular viable option?
I think so. I think it's a problem when the back is a factor in the passing game, because it just, the coverage has to be a little tighter, especially when people are playing coverage. And because, it may look good on the chalkboard and, you've got coverage and you're dropping guys, but we're taking those checkdowns and those backs are available in the passing game, especially when you're getting it to guys like 9 and 23 who can break tackles, who can make people miss in space, and who can go the distance. Puts a lot of pressure and it opens up things down the field. So absolutely, and when you can get guys out, it puts pressure. So when you feel good about your protection, and that's not just our OL, that's the quarterback too, and everybody being on the same page and how we point things out, how we communicate, how we redirect protections, and Trevor's done an awesome job. He's just so far along right now from where he was this time last year. Getting those guys out is critical, and then the same thing with our backs. There's some times where they should be out, last year where they didn't get out. So them taking ownership and having urgency and rewarding them when they do, and taking those easy plays, because again, those things, the little things, turns into big things. So it's a definite intentional part of what we want to do. We want to get those guys touches any way we possibly can. So something that we'll continue to stress and work on.
Dabo, when you're trying to drill into the guys that are maybe a little bit lower on the depth chart to always be ready, you never know when your chance is going to come. How often do you draw upon what Chase was able to do stepping in against Syracuse last year?
Not very often, to be honest with you. I mean, it comes up from time to time, but specifically that, not very often. We just talk to everyone about, prepare to be the starter. And if you're not preparing to go play 50 plays, then you're cheating yourself and you're cheating your team, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come. And so we've had lots of guys that have been able to be ready. And, we've got because you just don't know. You don't know. And so everybody's got to be locked in and prepare like they're the guy. Whether they play 2 plays or 20 plays or 40 plays, they have to have the mindset that, hey, I gotta own this plan, and because all of a sudden, you get an opportunity, you're not ready for it, you may not get another one. So better to be ready and not get an opportunity, right, than to not be ready and get one. So that's just what we talk about all the time. So just staying locked into the game, mentally repping, staying very engaged, and so boom, all of a sudden your number gets called. You're not cold. You're not trying to figure out. You're not trying to get a feel for the game. You've been playing the game mentally, and we do this, and we talk about that at practice all the time as well. So, just being ready is a huge part of it. And then part of that too is we try to play a lot of guys. We didn't get to play as many guys this past week, but we try to play a lot of people, and so that's one of the reasons it creates that edge. It creates that, man, I better be ready. They're going to put me in the game. I got to be ready. And so that's part of why we do what we do.
What's your assessment of how the tight ends have done blocking wise, both in the run
Good.
and the outside?
Yeah, they've done well. I mean, I've been really pleased with JC. I mean, again, for a guy that's getting his really first 2 starts and the most significant playing time of his career, he's done a nice job. Definitely thinks he can improve and get better, and he will. He's playing himself into that role. He's made a couple nice little grabs, just ball control type stuff that we need from him. And then, Luke's coming there. He's physical. I mean, he smashed the guy down the goal line the other day on the touchdown with Trevor, just created a gap. I mean, he just moved that guy. And so I like his mentality. Davis Allen is a natural physical guy and a guy that's just going to get better and better. And same thing with Jalen. Jalen is, so all 4 of those guys are doing what we need them to do to this point. They all got to get better, but I think we're off to a good start and, where we hope to be after 2 games.
One area it seems you are getting to play some guys is in the O-line. Guys like Matt Backhorse. Talk about his development this year.
Yeah, Bach and Cade, that's kind of our 6 men, if you will. Those guys we trust them. They're going to play a lot of ball. Backhorse is I mean, he's everything you want. I mean, could start for us today. He's a really good football player. Can do everything. He's just behind John and Gage. 2 senior guys, but we trust Bach. We play him at left, play him at right. He's nasty. He's relentless. He's smart. He's a train wreck. I mean, he's just a tough physical guy, and so love what we get, what his game brings to our team, the physicality, and then same thing with Cade. Cade's a really good football player, versatile, can do a lot. He's getting back to full speed with his ankle. And then those other guys. I mean, we're excited about Jordan and Blake and Chandler. Putnam's a guy that I think you'll continue to see as we go through the course of the season, try to get him in there a little bit more, a guy we want to get ready. So right now we kind of got 11 guys that we're really prepping every week and getting ready to play, and I think all those guys can help us.
Tony Elliott described Lynn Jay yesterday as a guy that's really, really funny, even when he doesn't know he's being funny or isn't trying to be funny. What's kind of your take on Lynn Jay's personality away from the field?
I'd say that's a perfect description. I mean, he is. He just kind of cracks you up. He doesn't really mean to. A lot of times I may say something to Lynn Jay because everybody in the whole room will start laughing because they love his reaction. And he doesn't even mean to be funny, but he always has the best reactions to things or answers to questions. So we have a lot of fun with Lynn Jay. He's a baller and getting better. He's just a much more mature player. I mean, he was electric last year. And again, in camp, probably had the most breakaways in our camp. Problem was he wasn't always going in the right direction, but he'd somehow find a way to make a big play. And then, just grew and grew and grew. Had a bunch of veteran guys in front of him last year, but he's, it's showtime now. I mean, it's his primetime opportunity. He and E.T., man, they got a chance to be a great 1-2 punch, and we need that. I mean, Travis can't carry the load. We got a long season ahead, and he's a guy that when you can roll Travis Etienne out and bring in that guy, just like when you take Higgins out and bring in Ngata, you know, I mean, it's makes you better. So I'm excited about that combo that we have and just his progression as a complete player. I mean, he's done a nice job with his protections. I mean, he's picking things up. He picked up a corner cat the other day. You know, he's running with more discipline with the blocking schemes and trust in the blocking schemes. Just has a better understanding of the game, and you know, he's getting the results. So he's a dangerous, explosive football player that can it's going to help us.
How surprised were you at what Maryland was able to do with Syracuse the other day, and does that make your challenge more difficult to get the team focused on the task?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised. You know, but no, on the other part, that doesn't have anything to do with us. Like I said, they won 4 games 2 years ago when they beat us. They were 4-8. So, you know, and we won the national championship last year, and it came down to a 4th and 6. So, I don't think I got to say much to our guys. It doesn't matter what happened last week. It has nothing to do with it. You know, and again, I've been in games like that. I mean, Maryland played Howard, you know, 79-0. They don't play, you know, you don't know anything about their personnel. You know, ran about 4 plays. You got a whole new coaching staff, so you don't have any tape. Then they bring in a bunch of transfers, guys you hadn't seen. You don't know anything about them. All of a sudden, you get in the game. It's on the road. A couple big plays. Next thing you know, the momentum, and it just got away from them. You know, just got away. We had a couple turnovers and just got away from them. Simple as that. And then by the time they kind of settled in and started moving the ball, the score was just out of control. So now everything's different. So it probably just Maryland's better than probably people thought, and then they probably weren't quite as prepared for some of the things that some of the unknowns. And then Maryland made some big plays and the momentum, and it got out of hand. So you just throw it out the window. You know, they're a lot better football team than what they played last week. So that has nothing to do with it. If they had gone and won 59-0, it has nothing to do with it. It's all about this week, and you know, and it's all about Clemson. To be honest with you, we prepare every week. It's just we try to make it all about us. Don't get caught up. If you start getting caught up in those things, well, what that team did last week or what their record is or, you know, all that stuff, you're never going to be consistent as a program. You know, I mean, for us, it's about getting better. It's about, you know, winning performances, you know, just playing with excellence and taking pride in your performance and who can perform week in and week out. And that's what we talk about. And if the opponent's good enough to beat us, they beat us. But let's don't let it be because we're, you know, well, that team got beat bad last week, so I guess we don't have to play hard. Give me a break. That's not our mindset ever. And vice versa. They killed somebody. Oh, God, what are we going to do? We're playing the Cowboys this week. It doesn't matter. I mean, let's just don't make it about that. Let's make it about us, our preparation, and our daily focus, and nothing else.
I know the starting quarterback for Clemson's been knocked out